When we first learned Volkswagen was creating a Passat just for North America, we had to wonder, would some of the European charm we've come to know and love in the Passat all these years be lost as Volkswagen tries to chase the mid-size buyers in America? We wanted to find out for ourselves, so that's why we took this Passat TDI for the last 12 months as part of a 4 seasons test. In many ways, the American Passat looks like the European car. The exterior is clean, handsome, and not overly flashy. Some find it a little boring, but its design has grown on us over time, and we suspect it'll age well. The same can be said for the interior. This SE trim model is not the highest trim level available, but the two-tone interior and faux brushed aluminum accents look quite attractive. One hint that this is the American Passat: the length. It's nearly 4 inches longer than the European model, and as a result, rear seat legroom increases by 1.6 inches. In fact, that rear seat is large enough to seat 2 large adults, like myself, quite comfortably. Better yet, there's plenty of room for all their cargo thanks to a cavernous trunk with 15.9 cubic feet of space. Just watch out for those large gooseneck hinges. Where the Passat TDI truly stands apart from the midsize crowd is under hood. Presently, it's the only midsize sedan available in North America with a diesel engine. And under hood, you'll find a 2-liter turbo diesel 4-cylinder that cranks out 140 horsepower and 236 pound-feet of torque. As most Americans likely will, we replaced the standard 6-speed manual with an optional 6-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. This combination of the diesel and automatic adds a healthy $4,300 to the price tag, but springing for the diesel pays off in terms of fuel economy. The EPA rates our Passat TDI at 30 miles per gallon in the city, 40 miles per gallon on the highway, and 35 miles per gallon combined. We wound up meeting or besting those estimates. We were quite comfortable on those long trips too, thanks largely in part to a nicely sorted chassis. The dampers are pretty compliant, except on the fiercest of expansion joints. The cabin too is pretty quiet. There's not much diesel noise from the engine, although there's a little bit of wind noise coming from the A-pillars on the highway. Acceleration is adequate, although it does improve in sport mode, but the steering is some of the best we've sampled in the midsize class. Yes, it is electric assist, but it's nicely weighted, it's quick without being twitchy, and it strikes a nice balance between comfort and sport. Overall, our year with the Passat has been relatively hassle-free. Apart from replacing daytime running lamp bulbs and a fender liner damaged from a chunk of ice in winter, we haven't had to bring our car into the dealer outside of any regular scheduled maintenance intervals. We did, however, need to replenish AdBlue. The urea-based fluid reduces nitrous oxide in the exhaust system. Dealers are supposed to refill the tank during the 10,000 miles servicing. Ours slipped up and forgot, meaning we had to add some on our own 7,000 miles down the line. Our complaints are few and minor. The available touchscreen navigation system is a little cumbersome to use on the go, and occasionally routed several staffers on unusual routes to their destinations. The dual-clutch gearbox takes a little while to release the clutch upon launch, and is a little clunky in stop-and-go traffic in town. Also, Volkswagen's pricing and content structure is a little tricky. You can't, for instance, add the DSG transmission to a diesel Passat TDI without also adding a sunroof. Further, you can't order individual options, and many of the more advanced features we find in other $30,000 midsize sedans, including blind spot detection, reverse camera, and so on, are simply unavailable on the Passat. Do we miss the days of sportier Passat models? Perhaps. But as we found over the last 12 months, the latest Passat TDI has not only been a consistent performer, but an interesting, satisfying contender in a crowded midsize class.